Good morning everybody and welcome back. I've had a lot of fantastic conversations with you all since the reveal of 77093, the Ganon set, a couple of weeks ago, about what's next for Zelda, what we like about it, what we think could be done better, and also what you'd like to see in the future. While I feel that something Majora related was definitely the biggest takeaway and the things that you guys talked about most, the second largest wish I observed, and one that is very close to my heart personally, is sets based off dungeons. And of course this was a big suggestion. Dungeons are a crucial part of Zelda, are super interactable and visually distinct, and they hold some of the largest diversity of enemies and bosses from across the series. So many memories were made in the Zelda dungeons. As well as the fact that a Zelda Dungeon Maker is something that fans have been after for a long time, and that we nearly got from Grezzo during the development of Echoes of Wisdom. As well, as you were going to find out, they are the perfect LEGO Zelda sets, and in my opinion are the best solution for a LEGO Zelda theme, giving us both a central gimmick and covering well what makes Zelda, well, Zelda. So join me and tag every LEGO designer you know as I explain my favourite LEGO Zelda sub-theme and why that very might well just be the dungeons. Before we go any further, I just need to make you guys quickly aware that there's some brand new free instructions that have dropped over on our site. The link is in the description. If you're getting ready for a purchase of 77093, the Ganondorf set, you might want to pick up an Echoes of Wisdom Ganon, Calamity Ganon to go alongside it. As well as if you have the Deku Tree, we have plenty of side builds for, and there's more coming in later in the month, so do watch the community tab. Okay, so for all this dungeon stuff to work, we have to talk about play. It comes in different forms, it's applicable to all ages, and we see examples of different types across the whole LEGO portfolio, such as an imaginative play, otherwise known as dollhouse play, which is mostly in scene-based sets, such as your modulars, restaurants, even some vehicles. This is when you use the scene to role-play a scenario. Then there's also action play, when you use the elements in a set to tell a story, something that's usually a little bit more dramatic or heightened than just an everyday life scenario. And there's nothing wrong with either of these, they are just different forms of play that people interact with differently. And the last one we're going to take a look at is challenge-based play. This is where a set encourages its owner to improve, remix, or even rebuild the main model to tell a different story or to set up and beat a hard challenge, usually based in skill or some sort of physical display of dexterity or using a tool in a specific way. We see this in ideas such as LEGO Mario's Course Builder system, but also in more subtle ways like the LEGO Ideas Maze and Pop-Up Book, which provide a template that encourages you to build your own inserts or to design tricky mazes which you can give to friends. And then there's also themes such as Mixels, which were designed for you to combine and sort of experimentally play and rearrange things together. The Minecraft crafting boxes, and Ninjago spinners and Chima's speedors, which invited another person into your play, and the ability to set up challenges in games. The LEGO Zelda dungeon theme should therefore aim to have all of these, and here's how. A series of sets would be released, all with a unique visual flair of different dungeons that come out across a variety of waves. Each set consists of a modular room with a doorway and connections that allow them to clip together, and each room represents a thematically appropriate puzzle, enemy encounter, or just visually striking element. However, the big catch is the rooms can be rearranged, allowing you to customize your dungeon experience. Some of the sets will also include options that open up new layout possibilities, such as including a staircase or an element that allows you to angle rooms at a 45 degree, or even more crazier options. So when you buy multiple sets, this allows you to have a sprawling dungeon layout that goes all over the place and looks completely unique depending on what order you put the rooms in. And it's important to remember that each of those rooms being modular means that the rooms can be shuffled and rearranged across all of these sets, making them fully compatible and customizable whether you have just one set or maybe you have 5. So these dungeons can be played with as normal, just buy the sets as individual sets, and then when Minifigure Link or whoever you've got around needs a new challenge, you shuffle up the rooms, add in another set, maybe move the keys around between the different chests, and Link's adventure becomes bigger and harder. But then a friend comes over, say, and then you can set up the rooms as a challenge for them, telling a brand new story or just putting Link through his paces to solve your dastardly challenge that you have created, inspiring a little bit more passion for creativity and sort of the LEGO core message there. But what about your own ideas? A system like this is also infinitely expandable, encouraging people to build their own rooms or stack the dungeons into crazy layouts with messy, colourful patterns in just honestly the most LEGO way possible. And it all comes together just to represent the best of Zelda dungeons in a thematically appropriate way, while also covering the full diversity of the entire Zelda series, giving us a true range of characters and locations, of which a lot of people have emotional connections to. Let's take a look at a quick example. Here we have the Spirit Temple Dungeon expansion. It's only quite a small one. It has 3 major rooms here. One is a 3-way connector piece that has this flying pot feature that can launch out, 2 open sides, and then a Lens of Truth wall which you can push a minifigure through, but otherwise appears mysteriously hidden. The second is less puzzle based and more of a movement challenge. Here we have a blade trap that can spin around on this rotating platform, and then you've got to maneuver your minifigure across the thin bridge and dodging any attacks from any of the included enemies that you pose here, maybe the Twin Rover or the Lever, or as it's up to your imagination, you could even bring the Iron Knuckle down from his boss room. At the end of this hallway though is a locked door. This only slides open when you rotate the snake statue, giving you access to the boss room, which contains on its own the explodable pillars, the throne, and a treasure chest for when you defeat the Iron Knuckle as well. And the back of this room, importantly, still has connection options. So let's buy a bigger dungeon set and see what we can do with that. So for example, here we have the Shadow Temple from Ocarina of Time as well. I promise they're not all Ocarina of Time based, but this one is packed full of extra play features. And let's just see what we can do. The central gimmick included in this one is the roller coaster track, which completely opens up how you can connect rooms together in 4 different sections. The track here is themed after the ghost ship that you see in the dungeon and does move you directly between various locations. We even have an included Stalfos that can guard the boat before it can depart. We're also going to split up the Shadow Temple, splitting the rooms between some of the Spirit Temple ones as well. We go through one section here before fighting the Iron Knuckle, which is now considered our mini-boss, which is guarding another spooky hallway, which has this bubble that's floating side to side, and this crushing block puzzle, which you've got to dodge over to reach the end of the corridor. Firstly, we lower down the first one so that you can dodge on top of it, and then lower down the second one, and you jump on top of that, and then jump up as it rises up, and then you can ride across to the top by sort of inverting the crushers, or just get crushed underneath. Remember, this is indeed your story. And here at the very end I've attached this coffin room, where if we avoid the re-dead we can then claim a key. But it is a dead end, so we have to head back and use our ghost boat to take a different route, which arrives us to Bongo Bongo as long as we unlock this door. His hands are able to raise and lower, and each finger can also be chopped off, simulating damage to the boss before you're able to get your final reward. And of course, you decide the endpoint, you decide the rewards. This dungeon system is completely up to you. Of course, it doesn't end with just these 2 sets. I have 10 different prototypes here. We have the spinning staircase and the addition of second floor buildings, which is encouraged by the water temple here. Then we have a full boss encounter with Volvagia, or perhaps you just prefer Koloktos, surrounded by floating lily pads, and who contains his removable legs, as well as a head that pops out when you hit the chest here. But it's not just bosses. We have Goma with alongside tree puzzles, a nice small set. By the way, that Goma is available with instructions now to go next to your Deku Tree. And you can dodge lava explosions and hidden challenges in Fire Sanctuary, one of our bigger ones as well. Building your own challenges is also an option using the Shrine Dungeon Builder, or you can dodge the traps of the Arbiter's Grounds. All have unique sections, characters, and with each dungeon providing massive potential, as well as putting a lot of care into thinking what would work well for a set like this. I know these models therefore aren't the best quality, and I would prefer to have them in real life to actually prove this system in play to you, but at the end of the day this is a concept. It shows the potential and execution of an idea that I know LEGO could do 10 times better with 10 times the grace and polish. It covers a range of prices and has limitless options. Even for example, this Shadow Temple could have a sequel set with some of the missing ideas at a smaller price point, fleshing out the ideas further. It truly is limitless. But I wanted to keep this briefer than usual, so apologies if I missed any crucial details here. Let me know what you think and if you'd like to see any of these discussed in more detail. I've linked videos about the sets that we covered in today's video on there and down below. So I guess we'll see what the future holds. But let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.